Please welcome to stage Chris Leone, Oracle Senior Vice President of Applications Development.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. Before the lights hit me, I saw a ton of familiar faces out there, so it's great to see you all again. It's fun to be here. I enjoy doing these sessions. They don't let me out very often, so I do like coming when they do. First, if you're going to be tweeting, here's the hashtag. Make sure you hashtag OOW19. And let's start with kind of where we've come. This is our 8th year. This is my 8th year giving an HCM strategy and roadmap update, which is pretty amazing. And not only is that amazing, we've had 20 updates in the last 7 years. That's a lot of new technology, new capabilities coming out. So that's extremely exciting. And we have a lot to talk to you about today. This is an Oracle event, but this is really a customer event. What I love when I come here first is seeing all the customers that I know and spend time with all the time, and we'll talk about that here in just a second, but also there's a ton of great sessions. So hopefully you get to hear the great stories that are out there, how people are transforming their HR operation and different unique circumstances that they all have. So it's great, and I get excited every year when we come to this event. I thought I'd first start with a little bit around customer engagement. Now, I put some customers up on this slide, many of which I've met with since I've been here. Some of these customers have been customers for 5 years, been live on the system. Some of these customers have just gone live in the last 12 to 18 months, and some are in implementation phase and just starting their journey. And I could have listed hundreds more customers on this slide. And the reason I put this up is it's really the relationships that we have. And my development organization and customers on this slide, and the hundreds of others that we partner with, it's all about success, customer success, success of the implementation, success post-go live. I mean, I talk about some of the customers that have been customers for 5 years. We're still going in and having conversations and doing updates and have a personal relationship. And that's important to me and my development organization, that we maintain these great partnerships and these great engagement models. And it's something that I cherish and we continue to do. And I built a whole organization around doing just that. We have a Center of Excellence organization that their whole job is this partnership, helping customers get live, stay live, and keep that real tight connection to make sure we're engaged and we know what's happening and what we need to do to continue to get better. So that's important. So many of you are customers. Many of you are prospects coming here. Maybe you're running eBusiness Suite. Maybe you're running PeopleSoft, and you're thinking, hey, when is the right time for me to make the transition to the cloud? Now is the time to bet your career on the Oracle HCM Cloud. It's ready. We're going to talk about how robust it is, and hopefully we'll excite you with the latest and greatest new capabilities that we're delivering. So with that, we're going to talk about some of the cool things that we're doing in the labs and we're delivering to customers. And my team knows I love to show product. If I could do a 60-minute or however long I'm up here, 60-minute demonstration and just talk about the products that we build, I literally would do that. But they say, no, you can't just show product the whole time. You have to talk about other stuff. But we are going to show some product now. So one of the things that we believe, and you've seen us talk, Steve Miranda's session just ended, we talk about digital assistants and a conversational user experience. To us, the next generation user experience is all about voice and voice interaction. So I always say VX is the next UX, voice experience is the next, or a big part of the next user experience, because it's the easiest to learn. You already know how to speak, you already know your natural language, you know how to ask questions, and this is not brand new. This is something that we're seeing every single day in the real world. So many of you have Alexa, you have Google at home, Google Home, you ask questions, Yo Google, Hey Alexa, and you have it in your car. So many cars are enabled, and not just the high-end cars that Gretchen drives. For the rest of us, all ranges and models of cars have voice. I even saw a voice-enabled faucet the other day. So you can say, I don't know, how many ounces of water you want for your coffee. I don't know. But voice is really the way to interact. You don't have to understand the menu structure. It's faster to talk than it is to type, all the great advantages. So let me show you. Let's go to my phone, and I'm going to show you a truly conversational-enabled experience that you can have. So just imagine yourself in your car. No hands required. Now, I am going to talk to this, and it's not going to play over the loudspeaker, just in this room, and please be quiet because it will pick up everything. So no yelling out like questions or anything for the device. Talk to Oracle. Show me my approvals. So now you're driving and you're yelling at the kids in the back. No, you're starting to ask about your approvals. You have 3 approvals. You can start approving them. You can go, show me my approvals. Leave feedback. So let's say I want to leave feedback for someone on my team. Show directs. I could select Carol Jones, I could speak it, and again, I could leave feedback for Carol Jones. Full HR capabilities, I could go through, check my benefits, check my pay slip. If I want, show me my salary. See if that comes up. In case I want to show my kids how much I'm making when I'm not buying them something, I can go into all of this. So let's go back to the slides. I could do that all day, but the experience is a completely voice-enabled experience. We can go back to the slides. And for us, that's really where the future direction is going. You don't need a lot of training. Now let's talk about some of the additional investments that we're making. And we tried to center this around some research that was out there, took our great partners Deloitte here and looked at some of their research and tried to align and talk about how our technology could help enable some of these challenges that HR professionals are having. And the first one that we'll talk about is improving the human experience. And certainly this goes beyond just the workplace, goes into the social side of the human experience, but it's really about how employees, workers, the broader workforce are interacting with the organization and how we can enable them to do that in a more efficient and effective way. And I'll talk about some of the capabilities that we have and how our modern capabilities tool set that we deliver really enables improving the human experience. And I'll show you a little bit about what that does. This one lends itself very nicely. It's leveraging your HR cloud as an innovation platform. And many organizations, the first reason organizations are looking to do this, and it makes perfect sense, is HR, an HR system, is really the only enterprise system that touches every single employee within the organization. I always joke with one of the analysts who loves payroll that every week or 2 weeks, guaranteed, 99% of the organization is going to go in and check their payslip. They're interacting with this system on a frequent basis. So leveraging this to drive innovation, whether it's AI or machine learning or career mobility, and we'll talk about some of those things, having this as a centerpiece to drive innovation throughout the organization is a great place to start. And now in the survey, they called it talent mobility. We're going to talk about it as career mobility, but really enabling employers and employees, but employers to provide an environment where their employees understand what their future self can look like, where they can go in the organization. And the organizations that do this tend to be voted as the best workplaces to work at because they're providing that visibility, that opportunity for their workers, their employees and their workers to advance in the organization. So let's talk about what this looks like and a little bit show you a little bit what this means actually in product, and I'll show you some of the things that we're doing in the lab. So when I start with improving the employee experience, it starts with what I call some of the kind of key human-centric design principles and things that you need to do to make the system that you're interacting with so you can find the right people in the organization, find people like you, find mentors, interact with the system. You want to make it as modern as possible. And these are just some of the ingredients that you're going to see woven into our experience that really provide this easy-to-use, intuitive way to interact with the system. So I'm going to start with kind of a digital assistant, moving into that conversational experience where I'm not interacting with the system. I'm able to speak and get answers back. Leveraging new technologies that are predictive in nature, that are adaptive, so artificial intelligence and machine learning, where we weave those in so they become common parts of the HR system so they can make recommendations to me and simplify my experience and do things that I wouldn't have thought of doing or that I should potentially experience or move towards. So weaving that in, having standard predictable search where it lets me know and thinks for me about where I really might want to go, and it helps make that experience better. And then the one that I'm passionate about, but it's just one part of the ingredients, is having a alert system that is something that we're used to in the consumer world. So today, if you go to any consumer app or the majority of consumer apps that you interact with, you really don't go into their inbox. You don't go into email, although you do get emails, updates, or changes, or the ability to get your airline tickets or whatever. But more and more, it's a SMS text-based experience that you want to interact with. It's just very convenient. So having a multi-channel notification, approval, alert system that works across all channels is something that we all as users of a system expect in a modern system. So let me jump in to, I got to get off my... Let me jump in and show you what that would look like. So let's go to the demonstration. And let me show you what that would look like from a candidate experience. So a candidate's coming in, they want to experience the richness of what they're going to experience and how they're going to interact with the organization at large when they come on board. So here's what they might look at. So this is a career site. The name of the company is Inspire. They have a full, rich experience. We're going to prompt them for the location that they're at. So we know based on location services where they're at. We know they're in New York. We're going to prompt them for the roles or the jobs. They've been here before, so we know they're interested in marketing type roles. So we're going to prompt them with a number of roles that they could select. They're going to go in to a marketing specialist role. Now, we have information about the job so they can read it, but that's very one-dimensional. So as soon as you start bringing in a conversation, a digital assistant, it starts to make this job experience 2-3-dimensional, right? So now there's a layer of texture involved. I can understand more about the benefits that the company offers. I could drive them to our benefits page. I could allow them to ask questions. I could interact with them. So before they apply, they're already starting to have an experience with my company, an interaction with my company. Then they go down and they start to apply, and their expectation is not that they have to go create a username, an account, and a password that has to be 62 digits and 5 numbers and whatever, right? You don't want to do that. You want to have, that other sites do. We don't. So if you come here, you could get email verification, or you could do it through SMS, which is where I work 100% of the time. And I'm going to put my phone number in here. Got to get one more digit. Okay. So now I want to get updated through SMS. So now I've said, hey, I want information on this job. I'm interested. I'm going to upload my profile. So many ways to do that. I'm going to choose LinkedIn. Now, great time to tell you we have the only LinkedIn partnership for related to enterprise HCM vendors, where we can bring in information. We can extend the recruiter experience into the LinkedIn recruiter experience. We can bring in the candidate profile. I'm going to show you how easy it is at the click of a button. But we also have the ability to do that once this candidate is an employee. So on the employee side, bringing in the employee profile directly from LinkedIn. So a very special partnership with LinkedIn. It's something that we offer as a service to our customers, but I'm just going to bring in the LinkedIn profile from a candidate. So I'm the candidate, very easily I'm going to bring that in. Now I'm going to scroll down, and I am going to scroll down, and I am going to answer a few more questions here. So, do I want to work the morning shift? Yes. Sure. Afternoon shift? No, not the night shift. And are you able to work weekends? Sure, I am going to work weekends. And I'm going to go ahead and submit that. So now, as easy as that, I've submitted my application. I've used a digital assistant. Now, based on what the recruiting technology on the back end has learned, leveraging some of our AI capabilities, we're going to start to predict or prescribe different jobs that you might be eligible for. So you're going to see that here. That is coming here. But I'm going to check my messages, and I turn them off, or else I would have got a text. So I don't get a ton of messages. And I got a text, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this text, and it's telling me, hey, congratulations, you're invited to schedule a follow-up interview. So again, all through text, I can come in, and now I can schedule my interview. I'm going to choose Friday. Everybody's happier on Friday. So Friday at 2 p.m., and I'm going to schedule that interview, and I've just confirmed that. So what I've done is really created this human-centric set of ingredients that allows me to experience what it's going to be like to work at this company. And I experienced digital assistant, a conversation user experience. I experienced everything on my mobile device, very, very easy for me to navigate. A more modern way to get updates through SMS, so I get text updates. I can schedule everything online. And some technical capabilities around AI where it's pushing additional jobs to me that I might be interested in. So this new type of experience is what we would expect as a candidate, and what we would and will expect within the enterprise. So let's talk a little bit about leveraging HR as an innovation platform and what that means. And I'll give you some things that we're doing. So I've talked, and I'll give you a few examples of what we're doing around some of the latest and greatest technology around artificial intelligence and machine learning. Talk about what we're doing in recruiting and learning there. But innovation goes beyond just those types of new technologies and weaving them in. One of the things that we're focused on is providing a much more personalized experience for every employee, every worker within the enterprise. And I call it personalization at scale. What I've heard others call it is micro-personalization. But we know a lot about you as an employer or worker within the organization. We know who you are, where you've been, who you interact with. We know what country you're in. We know what business unit you're in. We know a ton of information about you. And so what we can start to do is we can start to hyper-personalize the experience specifically for you. And so we introduced something called the Experience Design Studio. Talked about it, I think, at Modern Business Experience earlier this year. And this is really something we built first so the HR business partner could start to design these processes and these transactions and these rules without needing a technical resource or an IT resource to be engaged. It's a no-coding environment where you can lay out a process, lay out a page, add validation and defaulting rules, and create these event-based processes. And I'll talk to you about each one and show you what they do. But it's something that we're passionate about, and it can be micro-personalized, hyper-personalized, and allow you to be a lot more agile and deliver agile processes to the organization. So first is tailoring conditional rules. So this is really about building a personalized transactional flow or business process and doing it so it's personalized to what country you're in, maybe what business unit you're in, and what role you're in within the organization, and laying out the regions you want on that page and the fields within that particular region. And I'm going to show you the end result, what it looks like in the application. but very, very easy to do and simple to put forward. Second thing is probably, I say this is probably one of the biggest things that we've delivered in the last 5 years. We call it autocomplete. It's validation and defaulting rules. And every customer that I talk to built customized validation logic on particular fields in their application, in their on-premise application, over many years, and this is probably one of the biggest things that the cloud took away from them as we standardized everything around standard processes and standard configurations, the ability to personalize validation and defaulting logic for your business. And so now, for the first time, and the first company to do this in the HR world, we're putting that back and allowing you to personalize that system down to your particular compliance rules, your validation logic, and your defaulting rules. I'm going to show you what that looks like. But it's hugely powerful because if you think about it, on the back end, who fixes all the wrong job codes and who fixes all the wrong dates? I backdated a termination, 2 years, and now you got to go fix payroll and all these things on the back end, right? HR does that, and that's manpower and costs associated with that. We've solved this problem. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the front end and done it in a really elegant way. And then the final area is event-based business processes. So one of the things that we want to be smarter about is allow you as HR professionals to define the next set of tasks after a transaction or after a change in a person or employment record. If you just change an attribute of that record and you want to kick off a multi-step set of tasks to follow up that might not even be done in our system, you can do that to help the employee know what they need to do next. And I'll give you a great example of that. So these key things are what the Experience Design Studio does, and it's extremely compelling. So let's go to the demonstration. I'm going to show you the result of this and what this actually looks like in the system. So yes, all right. Okay, so this is our application. I'm not going to go through all of it. You can get a demo on the demo grounds right there. So if you want to go see them, go to town. So this is the personal details page, and so first, you can personalize this by country. So if I'm in Germany or the UK and I care about ethnicity and I want that as something I need to track, just to see what the mix of my organization is, I can put that field in. If I'm not, and we don't want that, that's like we don't want to do that, you can remove that field. And this page can be personalized by not only what we do for localizations as an example, but what you want to configure on top of what we deliver. But beyond that, we can add validation logic to these pages. So now, if I'm going to make a change, so one of the things that is frustrating, and again, trying to save time in the back end, this is a simple example. So let's say I'm getting married, and I'm going to get married next weekend, and I try to commit that transaction. You never know what's going to happen before the wedding day, right? I mean, it's just, you never know. You hope for the best, but, right? So if I committed that transaction, I effective dated it in the future, and something bad happens, then HR has to go clean that up, and it's an embarrassing situation for everybody. You don't want that to happen, right? So we don't allow that, and actually, in all reality, I already, we got married last weekend, so I can go ahead and submit that. So that type of validation logic, we would never build into the system. How embarrassing that would be as a new feature. Hey, we put this new feature in. I'm just kidding. So that's something that you can personalize yourself as one example. These will get more complex, but you can start to make these types of validations in the system so the data that gets put into the system is right the first time, and there's nothing on the back end that needs to be cleaned up. So there's two reasons to do this. One, it's more simple and more efficient as we start putting more defaulting logic in to the system, so your users can get through the transaction faster, they're more productive. And on the back end, we don't let them make the mistakes where we have to go and fix it on the back end. And if we fix it too late, it could impact payroll, it could impact other things that are harder to fix. I mean, there's nothing worse than going and asking for money back from an employee, so you don't want to do that. So these things clean things up on the front end. So I'm going to show you a few more of these. So let's say I want to change location. So I'm going to change location for Jen Jacobs. And Okay, so now I'm going to change location. I'm going to change location for Jen Jacobs. And I come in, and they were asking me when I'm going to change this location. I'm going to do that on October 1st. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead. And now, when I come to the location side, I can select the locations that are available. Now, if I select a particular location, it's going to tell me there's a security clearance that I need for that location. So we can even add this validation logic to some of our user-defined fields. So on the assignment, you may have an attribute or a field that says, hey, there's a security clearance of 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you need a certain security clearance in order to work in this office. And I could put validation logic in against those two data elements that doesn't allow me to commit that transaction. So I've stopped a transfer from happening in the system based on logic that is personal to my organization, as another example. So if I correct that to somewhere where she has the right security clearance, I can go ahead and complete that transaction and finish that. So that's something that you can easily do. And the last one that I will show and give you an example of and kind of brings it all together is a promotion flow. So I'm going to show you what a promotion flow looks like. And that promotion flow incorporates a couple different things. It's a promotion of a German employee. So I've personalized, remember hyper-personalization, I've personalized that flow for Germany, and I'll give you a few examples of that. And I've put some validation logic in there that's specific to that flow as well. So you can start to see how this gets broadened and all comes together. So first, and you know what, I'm going to use the digital assistant. Steve Miranda in the session earlier said we enable all HCM objects. We enable the majority of HCM objects to be able to take action. So it's mostly there. So if I go into manager actions, all of the manager actions are there. And let's say I want to promote this employee. Now, obviously, I could go right here, but our digital assistant is a multi-channel environment. You don't always have to be in the application. So if I go promote from here, I'm going to click on this link, and it's going to take me to the actor or the person that I want to promote. But one thing that's nice and that we deliver in these digital assistants is you can also add the next thing to do. So the next thing to do after I promote, hey, remind the employee that this person's in a new role, you might want to go update their goals and make sure that they have a new set of objectives as they've moved into the new role. So something that you can start to advise your users. But I'm going to go in and I'm going to promote Carl Hoffman, very German-sounding name. Carl. Now, first thing is, I'm going to promote him, and let's just do it next week. I want to hurry up and get this done, so I'm going to do it on the 26th. Now the system is telling me, since payroll is involved, so in Germany, every time we give a promotion, it's mandatory based on our workers' council rules that we have to give some sort of salary increase. We've all been there, right? So we have to do that. And so we only do that, we only pay on the first of the month. So I need to align his promotion with the first of the month. Once I do that, I can then proceed. So I've made sure that I'm promoting on the right day. So it's going to meet our payroll rules. Now we come back to hyper-personalization. So now I have the job details. These job details are personalized for our German office and our German employees. So here, it's defaulted, the next grade, all the things that I'm doing. I don't have a list of 600 different offices to choose from. It's the German offices, so it's straightforward for me. I'm going to select this office. Has our Works Council rep, so I know who that is. Jill, very tough. And we'll continue on. So again, hyper-personalized there. And now I want to give him a big raise, 140 euro, euro. And then I hit another validation. So now the validation issues, I can only give 3% raise and off cycle. Now that's not something we could ever put in the system. If we limited you to 3% raises, I think there'd be a backlash across all of our customers. But for you, for organizations, you can start to put in some of this validation logic to make sure it meets with your internal policies and compliance rules. I'm going to go in, and if you remember, I just I got married last weekend. That was the event. I changed my marital status. Now the system is going to tell me these are event-based processes. So now the system says, hey, congratulations, right? Look at the top, very nice. Congratulations on your recent marriage. You did it. But we need a little bit of proof. No, I'm kidding. We need, maybe upload your marriage certificate, get your husband or spouse involved, updated as a beneficiary, all the things that we want to remind the employee. And these could be things that you do outside the system or inside the system. But these are all autonomous tasks or standalone tasks that you can now complete that your employee might not have remembered. So you can do this off of every HR transaction or attribute change in our system. So hugely powerful. And again, this is also hyper-personalized. So you can do it off of eligibility. So you know who the person is, what business unit they're in, what country they're in, and you can drive these tasks based on whatever local rules you want off of that particular event. So hugely valuable set of capabilities and events that you can drive. Walk through the Experience Design Studio. Ton of capabilities here. This, like I said, this is probably one of the biggest set of features we've delivered in the last 5 years. It's really empowering the HR professional to own these processes and deliver a better, more productive experience. But it's also saves a ton of time, costs, and money on the back end where you're not correcting a lot of these areas because we want to get the transaction right the first time your employee, associate, coworker, whatever, enters that transaction. If we can do that, we've simplified the system dramatically by personalizing the system down to the field level, like we just walked through. So huge value there, and something that we're extremely excited about. Last area that we're going to talk about is career mobility. So career mobility is critical from a number of perspectives. As an employee or as a worker, I want to know what my future self looks like within the organization. What does my career path look like? And for the organization, the employer, their benefit is if people feel like they have a future, where they're going to be going, they know they see a path or a potential path for them, they're going to stay longer, which means less retraining costs, less turnover. They're going to be more satisfied in their position. And you're going to be able to develop these workers because they see a path, they know what they need to do to get there so they can educate themselves or train themselves or move towards that particular next position that they can move towards. So this is something new and an area that we're investing in. The ability for you to create that future path, to be able to find individuals within the organization that are like you, that maybe were on the same assignment, that maybe have the same likes or dislikes or the same skills that you have. Maybe somebody you want to leverage as a mentor or a team that you want to join or in a department that you've always wanted to get to know. These are the beginning, this is the beginning points of our career mobility set of new kind of emerging capabilities. And I'm going to show you what this looks like in the product, and this was shown at Steve Miranda's update, but this is in the new kind of redwood theme with some of those new ingredients that we've talked about: predictable search, digital assistant, all of the cool things that you would expect in a modern system. So let's come back to and you're getting fast back there. Awesome. Let's come back to the demonstration. Again, I told you I would have stayed here and demo for the entire time and talk about the product, but I can't do that. Ton more stuff to show. All right, we're going to go into something called connections. So this is, again, the beginning of career mobility. You see the new redwood colors. Digital assistant is always here to help out. You could look up skills. You could look up departments. You could look up organizations. But very modern looking, robust experience, infinite scroll so I can continue to look for people in the organization. I can select, I'm looking for Stephanie. Again, a very nice laid out set of cards here so I understand her profile. I can call her. All 100%, everything that we deliver, 100% mobile web responsive. I could traverse the organization chart. I need to hurry up as I'm spending more time in product. So I could go through all of this. I could drill around. We have the ability to look at locations. So very, very rich environment where I could find the people I'm looking for, see what location they're in, see who has skills like me, and begin this whole career mobility focus that I have in trying to better myself, finding a mentor, finding a new job, finding someone that I want to connect with within the organization. So this is a new investment area for us all around. Let's go back to the slides. All around career mobility. And this is kind of the first delivery of that, leveraging some of the new technologies and new capabilities we're doing around the new experience called Redwood. We're doing a lot. Investing a lot. Over $6 billion a year, Oracle invests in research and development. Over $1 billion a year in just our applications, our SaaS applications alone. In my organization, we have about 2,500 developers working on delivering HR updates and software to all of you. That translates to about 8 person years a day we're investing on your behalf. And that doesn't include all the great next-gen data center, Gen 2, OCI that Larry was talking about, the autonomous database that just comes in as part of the technology stack. So huge investment beyond just the applications layer that we're delivering all of these capabilities around. This is our footprint. It is the broadest and deepest set of HCM capabilities delivered on a single platform in the industry. Nothing I'm more proud about than all of this is all in one, all on a single platform. And we go beyond just the traditional global HR, workforce management, workforce rewards. We move into HR service delivery. So full HR help desk set of capabilities, only HCM vendor to offer a native HR help desk solution on a single platform. And then for that work-life balance, we offer a set of capabilities around volunteering, around wellness, so trying to balance and create a better cultural experience and better employee experience, worker experience within the organization. So a very broad set of capabilities. And then obviously I talked about injecting AI and machine learning throughout this set of capabilities. Customer Connect. So if you're a customer, you know about Customer Connect. 37,000 participants in our online community. It is huge. We deliver a ton of value. We get a ton of value there. This is where we source a lot of our ideas from. So a very robust ideas lab where customers log ideas and we deliver on many of them over releases and we report back how frequently we're delivering. So the Customers Connect and the ideas lab is a great place for you to come and get educated about what we're delivering, when we're delivering it, have discussions and dialogues with other customers. It's a great forum. 37,000 participants large just in HCM alone. So huge area. And then I'm going to talk about a little bit about what we've delivered over the last 12 months together. I always say it's a joint journey. We spent a ton of time with customers through implementations, through post-implementation. We had a strategy council just this Saturday and Sunday. We have customer advisory boards where we get a lot of great feedback. And these are some of the things that we've delivered over the last 12 months. So first and foremost, one of the things we're passionate about is delivering on our roadmap commitments. We publish our roadmap 2 times a year. We have a 98% delivery against that published roadmap, which is a high percentage delivery. And I would have never known that except a customer a couple years back came back and said, I've been here for 3 years and I track your roadmap and I look at what you delivered and you're about at 98%. And so we started tracking it ourselves and we've stayed at that level of commitment. We deliver about 1,200 features a year. We have 4 updates a year, 1,200 plus features. 80% of those features come from you, our customers. So we have we're really focused on looking at what's important to you. We source those from the Ideas Lab. We source those from CABs, from special customer engagements around strategic initiatives. So 80% of our features that we deliver of the 1,200 come from customers. We went through a major redesign called the Newsfeed User Experience. Huge delivery over the last 12 months, a little over 12 months, 100% of our self-service pages are all mobile. So one of the things that I love is every page that we build is instantaneously available on the desktop, on the tablet, and on the phone. And what I love to hear, now this is a joke for me, when other vendors say, hey, this new feature is coming to Android, next release. Never going to hear that from us. We deliver the page one time, available on your phone, across all devices. And that's something that we're proud about. We'll continue to do that. A lot of AI-enabled services, voice, the voice experience being the next user experience. We're rolling out the digital assistant. We have a number of early adopters. I'm not sure if Kelly from Hilton is here. She was with Steve. One of our early adopters is Hilton, giving us a ton of great feedback and partnership with us as far as rolling that out to their enterprise. So it's great when we have that type of collaboration. A lot of functional innovation. So in recruiting, delivering AI around the next best candidate, around the next best job, around stack ranked candidates, so it comes up in your search list. HR help desk, a new conversational knowledge base, and obviously digital assistants everywhere. The design studio, Experience Design Studio, probably the biggest set of features for the HR professional than we've ever delivered. Super simple to configure and hyper-personalize our system. And advanced HCM controls, the only HCM and ERP vendor to deliver a full governance, risk, and compliance suite in the cloud, all natively built out. Huge set of capabilities there around risk management and audit management. So great achievements. One of the things that I'm really proud about is our planned downtime. So if you're a customer, last calendar year, planned downtime was not great. This year, planned downtime is approximately 24 hours. We have 4 updates a year. We only take your system down 4 times a year. And the average downtime is 5.2 hours. Now, we have some customers that are a little bit larger, go a little bit longer, some that are a little bit smaller, go a little bit smaller. But 24 hours a year is planned downtime. There's other vendors in this space that are down every Friday night. I call it date night. It's not a modern system, not a modern cloud. 4 times a year we take your system. What that means is every time the system goes offline, you have to do some set of sanity testing when it comes back up. If you're only down 4 times a year, that reduces the number of regression tests you have to run. It simplifies your environment. So huge, very little downtime. Large number, we've grown so fast, 10 million payroll subscribers. We have 9 payrolls just rolled out and deployed Mexico payroll, so 9 localized payroll in our modern cloud, 27 million employees. Oracle Recruiting Cloud came out late 2016, already 300 plus subscribers, many customers live on the system today, some of the largest companies in the world going live in the next 6 months. And it's great. If you haven't seen it, go see the latest and greatest, completely reimagined recruiting. Oracle Recruiting Cloud's completely reimagined system. And then go lives. We have 1,800 customers that are live on our HCM system today. 1,800 live. Huge. We had 400 customers go live in the last 12 months. Some of the largest companies in the world, MetLife, Texas Instruments, AutoZone, 100,000 plus employee organizations gone live on HR, payroll, and other systems. So very, very large set of employees. And then you can just see some of the volumes. The Learning Cloud, I didn't even talk about the Learning Cloud. Almost 700 subscribers, more than 60% live. Some of the largest companies in the world are running our Learning Cloud in production today, not only in North America, but globally. Huge, huge progress, something we just rolled out 4 years ago. It's now a best-of-breed product as part of a best-of-breed suite. Going back to customer engagement, so one of the things that we do, my Center of Excellence team spends time with customers to understand roadblocks or issues or things that they're hitting. One of the things that you need to understand about the cloud is it's an ongoing investment, ongoing optimization. You don't wait 5 years to get the next update and then optimize. This is something you're doing all the time. So we work with some of our partners. We call it Project Elevate. they put some optimization packages out there, out on Customer Cloud Connect, where you can go take an optimization package to simplify your security setup. We have new capabilities like area of responsibility, and maybe customers that implemented 2 or 3 years ago can take advantage of that. Or optimize your newsfeed user experience deployment. So a lot of these packages we put out there, you can go grab and work with some partners to continue to optimize your system, lowers your costs, simplifies your support model, all of those things. So this is where we're looking to have you continue to optimize your system as you go forward. And we'll continue to roll these packages out to make it easy for you to grab one off the shelf and say, hey, look, I'm just going to go do this over the next 6 weeks and really optimize this area of my system. It's an ongoing investment, and we want to make sure that you have opportunities to do that. Okay, so now if you're sitting there, some of you are customers that have deployed maybe part of the suite. Some of you are prospects. If you're sitting here and you're an eBusiness Suite or PeopleSoft customer and Paco sent you over, and he said, you should look at the cloud. Now is the time to make some of those decisions to move to the cloud. I'm going to show you some of the things you should consider. First, if you're a customer using part of our suite, the best case is to simplify your environment and start to consolidate not just your HR and payroll and maybe compensation capabilities on one system. Now start to look at recruiting, bringing in learning, maybe bringing in succession, some of the other areas. The more you have on one integrated suite, the smarter we can be about making recommendations, about career mobility and the things that we're building, but also the easier it is for you to have a consistent, simple employee experience, user experience, and to consolidate all the moving parts that you have within your organization. We've come so far, and the satellite systems around the core are so robust now. You should take a look at some of the newer modules, I say newer, that we've developed over the last 3, 4, 5 years. How many have heard of the mobile challenge or done the mobile challenge? And mobile challenge, I will ask, but I know it's great, right? So if you've taken the mobile challenge. So the mobile challenge is something we created like 2 years ago. And so most of you are younger than me, but when you're my age, you remember the Coke versus Pepsi challenge. You probably remember that, right? So Coke versus Pepsi, blind taste test, whatever, and you drank both of them, and they only showed the ones that picked Pepsi, and everybody picked Pepsi, and that was the Pepsi challenge, I think it was, right? Well, we created the mobile challenge, and we challenged every HR vendor to allow you to play with their software, live system on your device, on your phone, and that's how it started. And I said, let's just challenge everybody. Let's put a press release out there, and let's bring it to the field. And Gretchen said, no, we're not going to do that. But what we will do is we will hold sessions and allow you to get on our system and play with it and go through 50, 60, 70 different processes, experience the digital assistant, and see how good it is. And we have a survey at the end, and you take a survey and ask you questions like, smiley face, straight face, sad face, and 97% of the respondents have been really positive. So the feedback that we get from that actually does influence. If we get feedback about, hey, this could be easier, that actually influences our roadmap. So if you haven't taken the mobile challenge, please find it and do. We're holding more of them, and you can go in and play with the software on your device. With no software installed, it's great. So do that. Design Studio, go over to the demo lab right there and take a look at the Design Studio. Some new things, very simplified way to lay out pages. It's so easy that anybody can do it, but you have to have the business side to understand, look, what are the different localizations you want to roll out, or the different compliance rules you want to roll out, or how do you want to make this as simple as possible for the end user. So go experience the Design Studio and try the digital assistant. Either try it at our booth or through the mobile challenge. But voice is the next user experience. So the voice experience is going to revolutionize how you interact with all systems, and that's something that we're way ahead of everybody else on. And it's the conversation, right? It's not just talking. It's how the device responds. It's the next steps that it asks you to do. That conversation is what we're learning. That is the user experience. So we're doing that today. You can go witness it either through the mobile challenge or online over there. And I will end with a thank you. Thank you to all our customers that are here. This is a great event. I love partnering with you. It's great. The partnership is great. Best community of customers that I've interacted with ever in my career, which is fantastic. This is the last update. We have another update at Modern Business Experience in the spring timeframe, 2020, so look for that. A lot of more new stuff coming. Hope you have a great rest of the conference. Thank you very much.